That's a great point, and I want to touch on that. Grappling, you're attached to each other. That's the thing. And of course you could get hurt. Like jiu-jitsu is like a pretty primitive, not pretty primitive, it's a primitive, animalistic, you're grappling. Yeah. Right? You're trying to break each other's arms. But taking it back, you can literally flow and move around with someone and just really, really learn, right? Like without getting hurt. If you do it right and if you trust your training partners. Yeah. That's not to say that you can't do that in sparring, but the perception is that, yes, you will get hit. Let's just call it what it is, right? Like, and I think that is the trump card to why people don't start
That's
Muay
correct.
Thai.
Yeah, and I think that's a big, it's just a big deflector for pretty much everybody, is the thought of getting hit or even hitting someone else. You know what I mean?
True.
Because it's an impact sport. Whereas jiu-jitsu, there's, you roll around and you can submit and, and you can still hurt yourself a lot, Anyway, to your question though, is getting into I don't know what the precipice was, but I wanted to get into something
what pushed you to finally go? Because I'm sure there was a lot of resistance, right, within yourself, like to actually go or no? Were you just like, fuck it, extreme?
Yeah, no, that's how I was. Yeah, I mean, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Okay. But I like activities that have a goal.
Okay.
I don't like going to the gym. I don't like walking on the treadmill or running on the treadmill or doing the stair step or lifting weights or anything like that. Because obviously there's a goal implemented with those exercises, but which is fitness. Getting yourself stronger or more.
It's different. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But martial arts is definitely a lot more incrementally goal oriented than those other modalities. So that's what I was yearning for. Because I like to work out. I like to be active. And one outlet for that for me was, I'm a mountain biker, so I like to cycle and mountain bike. So that was one thing I can do while having fun. I can also get a workout secondary to that, right?
Yeah.
This is what I yearned for with Muay Thai, is I wanted to have fun, but also have a workout. That's just a byproduct of having fun.
Yeah, I kind of understand now too, since you said that you were a big fan of combat sports.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably obvious. It's just, you put two and two together and then you finally got to try it, right?
Yeah. I think you have to maybe be somewhat of a fan of combat sports in order to want to try your hand at actually doing it, right? Yeah. Unless you're motivated by self-defense or something like that. But I'm not sure I don't know how many people are in Muay Thai motivated by self-defense.
Oh, dude, a lot of them.
Do you think so?
I run this.
Purely motivated by self-defense?
I mean, dude, shameless plug over here, but I run a kickboxing channel, right? The CCAT Kickboxing Club channel. Go check that out for my other YouTube channel. And at first, and I'm still doing it, it's basics of kickboxing. You know what I mean? It's not like gonna get you to basics are everything, but I'm not trying to get you to world class, fucking Phuket Stadium or something, you know what I mean? Or to the UFC. But what I notice is that as far as my community and that channel, self-defense is a big aspect. So I started steering. I'm still doing kickboxing, obviously, but kickboxing is pretty much self-defense with minor tweaks.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? You're using, if we're talking about Muay Thai kickboxing, you're using elbows, knees, clinches, and all that. And those are the most important things. You can talk about headbutts and getting kicked in the nuts and stuff like that. Yeah, try that with a trained fucking fighter. Try getting close to him and try kicking him in the nuts. You'll get dropped real quick with an elbow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So my MMA coach always said that, everyone has a different opinion. Every martial artist is going to have a different opinion, especially at the highest level. But my MMA coach back in San Diego always said that Muay Thai nullifies boxing, right? Because that's where I started coming from. Well, duh. I mean, you're using all your limbs. You know what I mean? And I know that that's not a knock on boxers. Boxers, I mean, there's specific heavy-handed fucking hitters that can move with footwork and with a quickness. Yeah. But, man, having in Muay Thai with the clinch and all the tool belts that you have and using all your body parts. I mean, that's just general knowledge, And go on with your story, man. I'm sorry.
But no. Yeah. So I just thought I was purely motivated, not necessarily by self-defense, but even though that is an aspect to it, hugely, but I was more motivated by having something that I can enjoy doing and also get a workout by doing it. Right. So that's what brought me in. And I thought, well, I'm in my 40s, but I'm pretty active and I do things that maybe you wouldn't assume a 40-year-old would do.
Yeah, you ride dirt bikes, you ride
and,
like you cycle, you
you do all jump shit, tabletops with bikes and hit bike parks and stuff like that.
You do do a lot, and you hunt. Like what the fuck, like.
Well, but I mean, I don't.
You're like a Cameron Hayes. That's who you're fucking reminding me of almost.
Cameron Hayes.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast a lot.
Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's more than that. He does like literally everything.
Yeah. No, he's supposed to be like a cross athlete, right? Like he does a lot of like trail running and stuff like that.
That's legit who you remind me of at like the lowest level.
Like the poor man's Cameron Hayes.
The poor man's Cameron Hayes,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that.
But so you started Muay Thai, and I know that knowing you that, you were kind of on and off there for a second. Obviously, like life happens. Not anything tragic, but you do a lot of stuff, like you said.
Yeah.
And so what keeps you going, man? Like to like Muay Thai and stuff like that?
It honestly, man, it's having, a bit of a community there, like people like yourself, someone who you have, almost like teammates who have, the same kind of mutual appreciation for the sport. And then you see them, when you go in every day and you guys are all learning together. I think I like that camaraderie aspect to it. But also I didn't realize, I didn't think my body would hold up to it. And plus I was, pretty trepidatious about sparring, punching and getting punched, because I did a lot of punching and boxing, but never sparred. So, but I think that's what I liked about it. I was fearful a little bit about it at first, but then it kind of grew on me. I think
how so?
Because I believe you get acclimated to getting hit. And punching too. I mean, like kicking heavy bags. When you first started, I'm sure kicking heavy bags, I mean, that hurts. It hurts your legs to kick a heavy bag.
Absolutely.
For one reason, because you're not conditioned to do so. And secondarily, you just don't have the right technique.
Yeah. What you just said right there, before we go on, like you said, getting hit, and I've told you this multiple times, getting hit is a skill.
It is.
Like, it's so crazy, right? To think about that. And it's so counterintuitive for people that haven't done striking. Even for the people that do combat sports like grappling, if they're strictly jiu-jitsu, because I know a lot of guys that do strictly jiu-jitsu and then strictly Muay Thai, right? Like they're just, in that one kind of like echo chamber of a sport. And obviously nothing wrong with that. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But
I think there's some misconceptions that people have about each sport.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my goodness, like grappling, it's just, they get so tired. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then on the other side of Muay Thai or boxing, that's probably mainly it, is that people are scared to get in the face. And quite frankly, looking from outside in, I don't blame them for thinking that way. Like, it's a scary thing.
It is. Yeah.
And I almost forget because, you've been doing it for so long, and hindsight's 2020. But when you really look back at it, right, it's because it seems like a blip in your journey now.
Yeah.
When you first started, but you really have to take yourself back, because it's easy for me to say, right? It's kind of like, well, just do it. It's like, no. Yeah. Like, I was scared to get hit in the face. I was getting murked by my MMA coach, 16-year-old, like getting murked, meaning I was getting fucked up by him in sparring. And I'd flinch. I'd for the people that are looking, I'd just like close my eyes, like deer in the headlights kind of thing, and shell up.
Yeah.
Right. Like what I'm telling you to not do now. Right.
Yeah.
Just for basic general information. Adam's still kind of he's been training on and off, but been more consistent lately. And that's what I've been actually, I'm pretty much coaching you through this thing.
Sure.
Just letting you know my experience. And that's what I tell you the most is that, and this is what pro fighters have told me, which is really helpful to me, right? The ones that are way ahead of me that don't shell up. Like Jordan Levitt, shout out Jordan, UFC fighter. He just said, don't, because it makes you a human punching bag. I remember him telling me that when I used to spar with him. He was like, dude, don't like frame off.
It's so true. Yeah.
Just frame off, do what you can. I know that after trying to shell up for a while, you feel vulnerable when you don't.
Yeah.
But then it's actually counterintuitive.
Yep.
It's almost like, oh, you're giving up almost. Right? Mm-hmm. That's almost the last thing you want to do. You want a long guard, or you want to like get away from the corner or something.
As you said, your body language is telling your opponent to please beat me up.
Blood in the water. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that makes total sense. But I mean, back to the sparring aspect of it though, is I always was always shocked at, watching combat sports since I was a kid, like how these fighters can, take so much punishment, especially take these huge shots to the face and just keep going and keep forward and throw back, when they need to. And that's all just training, and
it looks cool, huh?
It looks great.
Yeah.
But when you first start out doing this and you get hit,
It's not so great.
it sucks.
It's
But over
talk
time,
more about that, man. Talk more about that.
Yeah,
because
it's just
the suckiness is the bottleneck. Sorry, it's like a business term, but then the bottleneck is the one problem that why people don't start. Right?
Yeah.
It's if you could get through that. That's why I want to emphasize it in kind of like this podcast, because regardless if you're 45, 39, 26, 22, hell, 16, I know you got more testosterone levels at that point, so you probably don't give a fuck, but that is literally the problem of why people don't, try it. But go on with your experience, and then I'll kind of like describe a method that I would do if I was starting off.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, starting out, like you say, yeah, it's definitely a bottleneck because when you get in, you don't know what you're doing, and then you're beating your body up. You're kicking heavy bags. You're kicking, pads. You're punching pads. Your fists, your wrists, your feet. I mean, they're bleeding. Your shins are all bruised up. I mean, because this is all, and eventually, as you get better and get conditioned, those things go away. So I no longer, I still hurt my feet and my shin from time to time because I'll make a mistake and screw up or kick someone's elbow or something. But yeah, mostly I feel okay after. I don't feel like I was hit by a truck after each class. But there's definitely a what you call it, a barrier of entry.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. This relates, and I know it's a little bit different since it is primitive, very very primal. Yeah. And you literally are hitting each other.
Yeah.
But anything that you do in the beginning is going to suck. Right.
Totally.
Regardless. Yeah. Like even if it's getting hit in the face or maybe just hitting the heavy bag, maybe hurting your shin on the heavy bag a little bit. I mean, it's frustration, right? It's mostly frustration. Yeah, you could talk about the physical aspects, but mentally, some people just need almost a psych ward to after they get done. It's like, man, I suck at this shit. Like it's self-deprecating and self-sabotaging talk. It's like, I'm not gonna do that again. And then they quit after like 2-3 classes, their trial ends. And then it's kind of like, whoa, man, my shin hurts. And that trickles down to a bunch of excuses, mostly, right?
Yeah.
And I get it if you tried it and really tried it, maybe like a month or two. And that should be with anything in life. Like if I was to play the piano, I'm not gonna try for a week and say it's not for me. I don't know. That's not enough sample size for me to be like, oh,